Listen up before we start. Take one ball per table. How we will work, we start with one match, and then the second match, we start 5 minutes after the last match. Finish.
Yeah, it's really helpful to train for match play situations because you can focus on like your psychology, you can focus on body language, you can focus on tactics. You can just make it as real as possible and try to get the same match play pressure as you do in a real match. Yeah, you kind of have a different mindset towards a match. You kind of think, about everything, just psychologically, tactics and things like that. So yeah, it's a bit different.
I think for the people who come from holidays, it's quite good to start to play matches now, because we will be in 1 month, 2 months, starting to play a big competition, and we will need it. So it's quite good things to do in the practice, during the practice sessions. I try myself to do a lot because I improve a lot playing matches. Also practice is good, but I enjoy also playing matches to improve, to arrive in very good shape to the tournaments.
For me, playing matches, I try and just try and make it as realistic as possible. I'm trying to go in with the same mindset as I would in a tournament. So when I get to the tournament, it's like I've already played, 1,000 matches before anyway, so it shouldn't hopefully feel too different. So I think that's the best way you can get the best out of yourself in the most important matches when it really matters. When I'm playing the match, I want to be very present when I'm playing and not focus on too much about what the score is or other things that's out of my control. I just want to try and take each point as I can, and then especially in the practice where you are a bit more relaxed, you're trying to play as free as possible and trying to do the right things to try and win the points in the right way as well.
Okay, everything is important to find the best shape we can, but there is a lot of mental game in the match situation. Like we have to always get the best that we can from the adrenaline, stress, and this special momentum that can come in the matches that we will never get from just playing regular exercises.
Yeah, I think it really locks you in, and it raises both people's levels, so you get the best out of both people. And then also, if you're winning and you're doing well against the higher ranked people here, then it gives you confidence also that you can compete with them when you go to the tournaments. Like you get paid and you get ranked for how you do in the matches. It doesn't matter if you're good in an exercise. The most important thing is that you can transfer that into a match. And I think bringing match play into our practice really helps us develop that skill, and maybe in practice matches you can try more things than you would do in a match. You can see if some things work and what things don't work, so when the actual match comes you're much more aware of what you're trying to do.
The game is evolving all the time. We play a lot more tournaments than we ever played at the elite level of table tennis, and you can see that with WTT. And as I pointed out earlier, you look at 4 smashes, 6 champions, a world and European championships. There's 10 or 12 major events, where 5 to 10 years ago it was really only 1 or 2 major events a year. So you really need to be sharp in terms of matches. Of course, from a coach's perspective, we try to recreate that environment in the training hall. That's not always easy because that puts more stress on the athletes. It challenges them more, but I think if you look at some of the high performing athletes around the world now, if you look at the Chinese, if you look at the LeBron brothers, they're very much tailored towards making practice very competitive over and over again, and that seems to work for them. Obviously from my perspective, it's to monitor how everybody is, because we also want to create that environment, but we also want to give confidence when we're in the practice hall. So I'd say it's a give and take. We try to create match situations, but we also try to create confidence as well at the same time.
Yeah, sure. Just the fact of counting the points in the exercise already makes you feel that your shoulder is a bit heavier, or that you are thinking a bit more if you should hit very hard the ball, or this kind of things. And this is the way to get really prepared for the matches that are coming.
Yeah, this is probably one of the main ideas I try to put on the table when I play matches, because when I play in national tournaments or international tournaments, always I had this pressure. So if now I put the pressure on the practice matches, it will be much easier when I play on international matches.
It does help to be in those sort of situations or play from juice and things like that. But I think this afternoon we've got a normal match play session, so we'll come and warm up as if we're about to play a match and then have the match play. So yeah, I think that's pretty good as well. Before the EYC camp we also had a tournament, so that was pretty good. It felt like kind of a real tournament as well. So yeah, there are lots of different ways you can reproduce a match scenario.
Yeah, I think it's very important to play training matches with as close to as you can. Of course, you're never going to reach the actual intensity of a match, but you want to try and get yourself up for it and feeling nerves and a bit of tightness in the practice matches. And yeah, I think once you can breed that culture of good match practice in the practice hall, it comes much easier at tournaments.
We want to make sure that when our players are going into a match, they feel like they've done this 1,000 times in practice under some pressure. I think sometimes we've all been guilty of this, where we practice hard but we haven't switched our head on thinking actually this is a match. So we maybe can do things under no pressure, but then when the pressure dial is turned up and you start thinking about the skill more, it breaks down. So what we've got to try and create, and we're not perfect but we want to get better at this, is creating an environment where there's jeopardy, where there's pressure, where there's golden points, where there's match play, where there's people watching. All of that stuff that you might experience in a competition, we want to bring into the training hall and make it as specific as possible to a match, so they're used to it and they can play their best table tennis when it most matters.
Yo no quiero jugar, no voy a ping-pong. Ya está la polla.